The movie opens with a brief montage depicting Earth in ruin. 10 years ago, a solar flare severely damaged the ozone layer, causing temperatures to soar to extreme levels. Earth has since become an inhospitable wasteland, scorched by harmful UV radiation and vulnerable to severe weather events. Finch, one of the few remaining survivors, is introduced. He is a robotic engineer wearing a protective suit that shields him from the intense heat and UV rays. As usual, he scavenges for supplies with his robot companion Dewey. Upon entering a store, Finch's suit detects high UV radiation levels in the area. Meanwhile, Dewey collects whatever supplies are still available in the store. Finch grabs some dog food before marking the area to track the places he has scavenged. In the following scene, Finch drives through a desolate town ravaged by the depletion of the ozone layer. The UV rays have made it too dangerous for people to be outside, so most of the city has been evacuated. Suddenly, Finch's suit emits a warning about an approaching storm. He quickly spins the truck around, speeding away as the massive storm follows him. Thankfully, Finch makes it safely to his underground lab, which was once used by the company he worked for before the catastrophe struck. We learn that Finch is suffering from tuberculosis and that his dog, Goodyear, is waiting for him at home. Finch embraces and kisses Goodyear, then prepares the food he scavenged earlier. While Goodyear eats, Finch drinks slowly, knowing his supplies are running low. With the help of an AI, Finch uploads basic instructions for his new project, such as how to care for a dog and how to do household chores. Since Finch cares deeply for Goodyear, he is focused on creating a specialized robot to look after his dog after he dies. Finch has been extensively studying UV rays and radiation exposure. He decides to remove Dewey's eyes and attach them to his new robot. After activating the robot, Finch begins transmitting data to it. Although the robot initially struggles to understand, it eventually nods its head, signaling that it has comprehended Finch's instructions. Finch is ecstatic about the progress and spends time playing with Goodyear, hopeful that the robot will become a new companion. Finch then asks the robot to share something about itself. The robot mentions its core rules, including a strict prohibition on harming humans, with the most important rule being that it must care for Goodyear in Finch's absence. Suddenly, the power goes out, and Finch goes outside to fix the wind turbine. After reconnecting the cable, the lights come back on. Inside, the robot decides to name itself Jeff. Meanwhile, a massive storm is seen approaching. Finch returns and connects Jeff to the weather station to forecast the storm. Jeff predicts several storms will hit within the next few hours and they will be unable to avoid them. He also estimates that the storms will last about a week. Finch realizes they need to leave soon and believes heading to San Francisco is their best option. Finch then focuses on completing the robot's full body. Once finished, he increases Jeff's data transfer rate and starts teaching him to walk. After some practice, Jeff successfully begins walking. While Finch is pleased with the progress, Goodyear remains distrustful of the robot. As the storm nears, Finch starts preparing essentials and unplugs Jeff's data transfer at only 40%, meaning Jeff is still in development and behaves childlike. Finch calls Dewey to join them but forgets to attach eyes to Dewey, so he adds a camera instead. The group then climbs into an RV to head to San Francisco. At the beginning of the journey, Jeff is incredibly curious and mimics everything Finch does. The group successfully evades the storm, eventually stopping in a deserted town. Finch dons his UV protection suit and invites Jeff outside to teach him basic scavenging skills and about the dangers of the sun. While outside, Finch and Jeff have some fun by popping popcorn under the intense sun, which reflects just how dangerous the environment has become. However, the fun quickly fades when Finch notices the storm approaching. He gathers everyone to try to outrun it, but the storm catches up with them. Finch and Jeff rush outside, and Finch orders Jeff to help tie the RV with wires to secure it. As Finch tires, Jeff takes over and completes the task. Once Finch is inside and secures the RV, the massive tornado strikes. The wires snap one by one until only one remains, but fortunately, the storm passes without causing any harm. Finch praises Jeff for his efforts, but is disheartened to discover that the front tire of the RV is damaged. Although they have a spare, they lack a jack to lift the vehicle. Jeff simply lifts the RV with his strength and tells Finch to replace the tire. The next morning, Jeff tries to communicate with Goodyear, claiming he's attempting to learn the dog's language. Finch intervenes and explains that building trust with Goodyear will take time. Later, Finch notices a sign indicating that San Francisco is 250 miles away. When Jeff asks about trust, Finch reflects on his own life, explaining how he solved a software problem on a project but gave credit to the team to earn their trust. Finch's health continues to deteriorate as they stop at a restaurant where he vomits blood. Realizing his time is running out, he takes Goodyear inside, spending precious moments playing with him. Meanwhile, Jeff, still learning to handle the RV, fiddles with the controls, playing music and trying to drive. His clumsiness leads him to release the handbrake, causing the RV to crash into a car. Finch, furious, confronts Jeff, who feigns innocence. When Jeff attempts to reverse, he crashes again. Finch, now visibly frustrated, shows Jeff the consequences of stepping into the sunlight by demonstrating how it harms his skin. He then yells at Jeff, reminding him that his sole purpose is to care for Goodyear. After this, Finch decides to teach Jeff how to drive. Although Jeff struggles at first, he soon gets the hang of it, driving smoothly, which pleases Finch. However, Goodyear remains wary of the robot. That night, as they camp by the road, the northern lights shimmer above them, a haunting reminder of the lack of an ozone layer. Jeff suggests traveling at night to avoid the dangerous daylight, but Finch warns that night brings its own dangers, including the risk of encountering hungry, desperate people. The next morning, Finch vomits blood and shivers uncontrollably. Jeff offers to call a doctor, but Finch insists they need to keep moving. Upon reaching a major city, Jeff and Dewey venture out to scavenge supplies. They find a hospital that appears looted, but Jeff, unaware of the risks, enters anyway. When Finch wakes up, he realizes both robots are missing and fears the worst. Despite his weakened state, he suits up and sets off to find them, aware that someone is watching from the shadows. Inside the hospital, Jeff discovers food, medicine, and even a fancy jacket. Dewey finds some snacks but doesn't notice a bear trap nearby. As he reaches for the snacks, the trap springs, maiming him. Finch, devastated, finds Dewey and apologizes before powering him down. Soon after, Finch hears a rumbling sound and finds Jeff, urging him to leave the area immediately as it's no longer safe. Finch, struggling to keep up, follows Jeff to the RV. Once inside, they speed away, but a vehicle begins following them. After putting some distance between them, Finch hands over the steering wheel to Jeff, instructing him not to make any mistakes from that point on. The car tailing them is still in pursuit, prompting Finch to suggest Jeff accelerate. They turn off the headlights, trusting Jeff's ability to see in the dark. Despite their efforts to lose the car, Finch decides to steer the RV off the road and into an underpass. Despite Jeff warning him about the RV's height, Finch doesn't listen, and the RV crashes, destroying the solar panels. After the crash, Jeff uses his strength to push the RV into place. The mystery car approaches but stops for a moment before driving off. Once the danger is gone, Finch rushes outside, only to find that all of their solar panels are damaged. He blames himself for his poor judgment and expresses his inability to repair the damage. Jeff reassures him that they can still reach San Francisco, but Finch snaps at him to stop talking. Finch then storms back into the RV, leaving Jeff outside in the rain. After some time, Jeff comes inside and expresses his belief that they will reach the Golden Gate Bridge. While inside, Finch opens up about his lack of trust in people, telling Jeff how he found Goodyear abandoned in a bag, terrified and alone. He explains that he promised to protect Goodyear at all costs. Finch shares how hunger can turn people into killers. Yet in his case, it made him a coward. He recalls hiding while a group of young boys murdered a woman and her daughter in a supermarket. The next morning, a new board shows the remaining miles to San Francisco. Jeff is at the wheel while Finch rests, weakened. Suddenly, Jeff spots a butterfly on the windshield and pulls over. He wakes Finch to show him the butterfly. When Finch reaches out, he realizes the sunlight no longer harms him. Stepping outside, he feels the sun and is delighted to discover that the UV radiation has subsided. Finch observes a flower and another butterfly, laughing joyfully. They continue their journey, passing through blooming plains. Finch, now dressed, suggests having a picnic in the sun, a rare event for him in over a decade. While enjoying the moment, Finch shares memories from his past, wishing he had done more with his life. Excitedly, Jeff declares that if they leave now, they can reach the Golden Gate Bridge in a few hours. However, Finch knows he won't make it, and, feeling saddened, Jeff promises to take care of Goodyear after Finch is gone. Finch then brings out Goodyear's ball, and the two play a game of fetch. He tells Jeff that playing fetch is one of the first steps in building trust with the dog. They share a light moment until Finch suddenly begins coughing up blood. His white suit is stained, and when Jeff asks if he can help, Finch replies that Jeff has already done enough. Jeff and Finch share a heartfelt moment, shaking hands and hugging. Jeff, visibly emotional, helps Finch into the RV, where he lies down. Goodyear offers comfort while Jeff packs their things. Finch pats Goodyear one last time before passing away. The two later burn Finch's body and UV suit in the plains. After mourning, Jeff follows Finch's daily routine, feeding Goodyear and playing fetch. As they continue, Goodyear grows more comfortable with Jeff, and Jeff accepts the responsibility of caring for him. They journey onward, and Goodyear finally bonds with Jeff. Upon reaching the Golden Gate Bridge, Jeff builds a memorial for Finch. They discover messages left by others, revealing that there are more survivors and the hope of family reunions. In the final scene, Jeff pins a drawing of Finch, Goodyear, and himself to the fence before leaving, ready for whatever comes next.